fucking mouse fur. There, I did it.
Fucking coward.
I did a thing. Yay!
Who lets Dubs do anything?
What are we supposed to do
we
now?
got a sick
Apparently
guy.
we do.
Okay, I'll start this off. Good evening, everybody. This is the Loose Screws podcast. I'm jumping in because we've got a member who is very sick and doesn't want to talk as much as he usually does, which is a fucking lot. But we'll get to that here eventually. We got quite the crew here tonight. Wait, I got to give the date. It's March 20th,
It's at the top of the
2023.
notes.
Oh, notes.
It's 3309.
I did put things
think
in the
it's
notes.
30.
Though.
We do the
308.
podcast in kayfabe.
I don't know what that means.
I think that's a wrestling thing.
Is it?
I think that's.
Yes.
I don't know what it means, but I
Is
think
this a work or a shoot?
It's what is about them doing characters or something like that.
You don't have to pretend. Like, it's okay if you like wrestling. It's fine for you to know that because you enjoy wrestling.
I only know what it is because
you
Teflon
watch
says
it every
sometimes. Watch wrestling?
Every night.
What's like a question? Watch wrestling?
It's like before bed, every night before bed. It's like
I only know what this obscure term means. Definitely not a fan of wrestling, guys.
It's like this. It's like that story. This guy like pretends to not know what a potato is all throughout dinner. Like, drives his family insane. Like,
Okay.
that sounds like something I would do.
Where's that story from? I just don't know.
Oh,
It's a
I'll
weird
find
story.
it. I'll
Okay,
find
good.
it.
How did we
Because
get
now I
here?
am intrigued.
How did we
don't
get
know
here?
because I started
We are-
talking to let tracks. Now I'm going to put him back in charge. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, Jake,
I'll
take
jump
back
in
over.
when you're coughing.
What? Oh. Welcome to the... Did you already do this part?
I already
Welcome
did
to
that
the
part.
Loose
Yes.
Screws podcast.
The meds are working.
You have about 30% of me tonight, everyone, because COVID finally got to my house this past weekend after 3 long years of evading it.
What's next week?
Yeah.
Spanish flu?
Smallpox.
I don't feel very good. And anyway, but it's okay. It'll be okay, I think. But I'm going to try my best to participate anyway. And I'll try to keep most of the gross noises off the mic.
Oh.
Yeah. I have
You
a-
want me to just leave now then,
So
I
you're not
guess?
you're not going to get dub stock?
Well, luckily, I don't have the coughs very bad, at least not yet. So hopefully I'll be able to keep it together. But anyway, yeah, I feel pretty rotten. But
I've been
we're going to do it
stabbed.
anyway.
I've been hit by chairs. I've been beat up.
I think that's from wrestling.
That sounds like it's from wrestling. There's a lot of his
Wrestling.
sound bites are from
That
wrestling.
sounds like it. You know exactly what episode. Okay, not episodes. You know exactly what it's from. This is the specific match.
They do matches?
It's.
I know
Nah,
about
I don't know what the fuck they
Hogan
call it.
and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man, Hulk Hogan.
No,
Macho Man
Harry
Randy
Potter.
Savage was hands down the best Skyrim mod when they made Macho Man the Dragon.
Ravishing Ric Flair.
What?
I'm the tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
That's my favorite quote from Star Wars.
All right. Now, Chig, now introduce everybody and give him a break.
Oh, all right. Well, you guys have heard people talking. We're going to save the best for last, so I'll go last. So we'll start with Dubs. What have you been up to, buddy?
Same thing as last time. Been at work a lot. Get home,
You been
play
at
some
work
video
slut?
games, go back to work. Been at work a lot. Yep. Look, I'm trying to eat chicken tenders right now, so I'm not thinking too much.
What do you mean trying?
What do you mean thinking? What?
You have to dip
Pretty
those
simple.
in honey.
He's attempting.
You never dipped your chicken tenders in honey. It's really good. Dip them
I
in
have
some
to give
honey.
that a try.
Boy, that's a hot tip.
But yeah, anyways, nothing special is going on this side over here.
Have you played the game?
I got the Caustic Sink launchers, and I actually just 5 minutes ago went and pinned the blueprint for them, and they're kind of useful. You know, it's cool being able to just fly around in there, not worrying about the caustic damage.
They don't have their own blueprint.
The ammo. I had to get the blueprint for the ammo.
You didn't
you
have
just unlocked
sync ammo pinned? It's
I
the
didn't
same
have it pinned.
Blueprint.
I know.
What?
I've never had it. I went and got like one thing done with ammo, and the rest of them were lightweight because they were on exploration ships. I've never really felt the need to have a high capacity heatsink launcher because fuck it, I'll just make more. It uses cheap materials.
So what did you have pinned there?
Apparently lightweight.
Wow,
that's
you're dumb.
messed up.
Look, we all know this is not news, Jake.
All right, well,
but anyways, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, skip.
I
sick guy.
might
We'll
not
go to
know what I'm
data.
talking about. I mean, that's entirely possible. I am pretty stupid.
Amen. What's up, Data?
Hey.
Do you know what a potato is?
Yeah, I posted that story. I do know what a potato is. I enjoy them often in various shapes and forms and consistencies. Have you ever had a twice baked potato? Those
I
are
sure
good.
have.
Yeah, those are good. But yeah, so this is where I talk about what I've been doing.
Not your first rodeo.
Well, you could talk about what Dubs has been doing. We don't really care.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what Dubs has been doing. I've been watching him for some time now.
I have been him for some time
In the
now.
mirror.
He's the man in the mirror.
I'm very funny.
I haven't played Elite yet. I haven't done the Caustic Sinks yet.
Sorry, I was a bit late on that. I couldn't find
No,
it.
that was awesome. That was great timing. I finished Hollow Knight. And man, what a game.
Huh.
Recommend to all y'all to try that one out.
Platform did you play it on?
I played it on the Nintendo Switch. I got it for like $7.50. It's gonna go on sale a bunch because the sequel's coming out. That's where I can play most of the time now. Is sitting in the living room with
breastfeeding
one of the kids. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I laughed.
Kind of random.
That's entirely accurate. I don't know why I laughed at you.
So yeah, played it on that. Lots of fun.
Right.
Kind of sad that it was over, but I was ready for it to be over.
I'm going to play that after the show tonight. Actually, I should just go now and go play that.
Don't do it.
Have you? Okay, so you didn't do the sinks. You played Hollow Knight, and what about real life? You build any stairs to nowhere or anything like that?
No stairs to nowhere. Had my.
What about a slide that comes back down the other side?
No, I had my furnace and air conditioner replaced. That was done. I think since I was on here, I've already talked about that. I didn't do it, but I had to do a little bit of work on the outside with like my dryer vent.
I mean, it ain't been that long since he had the baby. He's still only running on like 6 hours of sleep total.
Yeah.
Well, androids don't need sleep.
I can't even complain about that. This little guy, he sleeps great. So really fortunate in that regard. Makes everything easier when you can get some sleep at night.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, how about Nurgle? What have you been up to? Just gonna move this train along.
Just move it along. Had a fun weekend. Had back spasms. That's always a joy.
Well, you're old.
Actually, yeah, I know. Well, hey, look, this is where I put on my dad hat. Take care of your back, young people, so it'll take care of you when you're older. Don't do stupid shit and abuse your back because that stuff comes back at you.
I mean, that's too late for that.
Back at you.
We'll go on.
I see what you did there.
Back.
It's too late for most of us, but maybe there's some of the young kids out there like Volt who still have time to save their backs by not doing stupid shit.
If you thought back spasms were bad, wait till you have front spasms.
I don't think Dax agrees with me on that.
Oh no, I do. I got a back injury when I was like 24, and I've taken relentless care of my back since then. It's very good.
Excellent. All right, have you played the game, Nurgle? Nurgle?
Yes.
Awkward silence.
Have you played the game?
Actually got a chance to play the game some yesterday.
What did you do?
For a few hours. some bounty hunting, some mission running, supporting some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the squad update later.
Sweet.
Remembered how to fly, how to shoot things, didn't blow up. So, woo!
Yay.
Good.
Woo.
All right. Well, let's move on to the governor, Teflon. What have you been up to?
Hey, yo. I have played the game.
Sweet.
I followed that lore thing that was going on
Nice.
to the end of what we have available to us, at least until the end of where everybody else stopped. And I didn't watch anybody's video on it, even though Bork was like, hey, you should check out Burrs. And I was like, I'll do that. But I'm going to follow it as far as I can first, and then I was going to watch Burrs' video. But yeah, that's pretty neat, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about that at some point. Meanwhile, what I've been up to. So we finished the bedroom, and I posted in Chig Chat just a few minutes ago the actual mural we put up, so anybody who had guesses, like, you can see what it is now. You know, I really liked I think it was Nurgle put up the Godzilla versus King Kong idea. I did pitch that. And my wife responded with, and I quote, no. And
Dude,
so that's how
you
that
could
went.
just have King Kong and Godzilla kind of hiding in the fog back there. It would look badass.
I know it would be.
Get it in there.
Besides that, so we had a doctor's appointment for my daughter
Where's
today,
Waldo?
right? My daughter had a doctor's appointment. We had to take her to, right? And we were out in town getting lunch. And first thing was they wanted rallies, so I took them to the rallies drive-thru. And they say, hold on a second. And then somebody else comes on the speaker and says, all right, go ahead. And so I do the whole order. And then the original dude who said, hold on a second, comes on and says, I didn't hear a word you said. So I had to do the whole order all over again. But that's not even like the crazy thing. The crazy thing was I didn't get rallies. We have a big boy here in Bowling Green. And so I was like, my mother-in-law always told me how good their sandwiches were. So I pulled around over there to get one for me. Right. And I won't even complain about how, it took a long time to order and to get the food. But like the dude who was working the window, he hands me the drink and he says, make sure this is sweet tea. And he handed me a straw. I said, go ahead and make sure it's sweet tea. Like I hadn't even paid yet. And I said, okay. And he said, it's like my seventh tea here. He said, please dear God, let it be sweet tea.
What's the worst it could be?
It's like
fry oil.
Sounds like he messed up some drinks in his first 7 days.
Caustic soda.
Please, he sounded so desperate, the poor guy. Please, dear God, let that be sweet tea. Like, and so I tried it, and I was like, yeah,
was
it's
it?
sweet tea. It was sweet tea, and that poor guy. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you're this stressed over tea, maybe you need to do something else.
Wow.
I really hope it's sweet tea. If I give one more customer used fry oil, they'll fire me.
What did you think it was? Like, what did you think it could be?
Battery acid. that hate it when that mix
Used
up
fry
happens.
oil? Yeah.
So, all right, Trax, you're sick. I'll let you go now before we go. Well, we got one more person after you.
All right. Well, I did play some Elite. We played on Thursday. We went and because of some things that were said by Aegis, we went and did some more Orthrus hunting.
Ugh.
It went precisely as you'd all expect it to go based on how it went the last time, because nothing's changed and it sucks, but we'll probably talk more about that.
But it's the most important gameplay element of the war.
I'll later, I guess, when we're discussing this, I'll explain why I'm a little bit insulted by that, but regardless, it's like whatever, it is the thing. And then I guess it was Friday. My kid came home with the sniffles, and then on Saturday morning, my wife was like, "Oh shoot, I think I got Arya's cold," And then she took a test. We had them both take a test. I went out and I ran around some errands because I was fine. I was like, I'm fine, whatever. You get colds. Kid brings home colds from school. And I came back and they were like setting up these little at-home COVID tests. And we've done so many of these over the last 3 years, and it's always like, oh, it's strep or it's a cold or something like that, And I've never seen such a brilliant red line on that stupid fucking test. And I was like looking at him, and my wife's over on the couch like being all sick, and I have the tests on the table, and I'm looking at him. It's just a couple of, you're supposed to wait 15 minutes. It's like a couple of minutes in, and it's like this bright red line there. And our daughter runs by because she's not really feeling much. She's got the sniffles. She is not nearly as sick. And she walks by and glances at him and goes, hey, that one has 2 lines, like really loud.
No.
She's pregnant. What?
My wife looks up at me. I'm like, yeah, well, it does. So it's funny because like this was the start of the little one's spring break. So she was off for 2 weeks anyway. But we had just worked out this whole like schedule between the grandparents to like look after her so we could both be at work. And that's all out the window. You know, we're in nobody comes in or out house town, and we've had, groceries delivered and stuff like that. And like, whatever, we'll get through it. But it sort of does suck. And right now it's like coming in and out, but my left ear keeps hearing pitch like lower than my right ear. Like it sounds like 2 different notes. It is the most freaky thing, and it'll go away for a minute, it'll come back, and I'm sincerely freaked out by it, and I'm just mentioning it so that I'm not trying to like hide it, but I'm very much freaked out by that. So anyway, what did I do? Oh, one of my errands, this is the last thing, because I'm going to ask Chig what he did too. One of my errands was sending Chig something, which apparently he received, and I wasn't expecting USPS to be that quick with it. So I had Rabbi print out a couple of those challenge coin things that design he made for the Thargoid gold medals we got. Operation Bronze Medal gold medals. And I've actually it took me forever to work on them because I was busy kind of working between other things and stuff. But so I hand painted them. I wasn't happy with how the spray gold was coming out. And this kind of goes back to my previous life when I was doing decorative finishes and high-end cabinet finishes and stuff like that. So anyway, I ended up hand painting them with gold, and then I did a copper glaze on it. So it's a pretty subtle effect, but if you look closely at it, it's got this slight copper tone, like sort of embossed into all of the relief, all of the texture and stuff like that.
I put it in the sun for just a little while. It got a good tan. It was nice.
So it's pretty good. Yeah. So I tried to spray gold at first. I was like, this isn't good enough. And I have some of these fancy, borrowed from my dad, actually, some of these fancy paints with actual gold metallics in them and stuff like that they're pretty tricky to use. But anyway, yeah. So I'm pretty thrilled with how they came out. I made 2. I have 1 too. So anyway.
It's fantastic. I thank you very much. I'll post some pictures in the Discord on it.
Yeah.
I was excited for it to show up. The fact that you mailed me both this awesome coin and a box full of COVID was amazing. I appreciate that.
I sent it out, and literally I come home and like there's the COVID tests, and then we do them, and then the line turns red, and like then today I was like sent Chig a message like, oh, I just realized I sent you something, and then hours later started to feel symptoms. But I think there's like an effectively 0% chance for it to communicate on the surface.
I licked it clean off. It's all good.
Oh,
I made sure. I do like that this thing though. Did you notice that it also doubles as a top? Because the Thargoid nose that pops out, you can spin this thing like a top.
Yes, I noticed that when I was trying to lay them flat to paint them and dry them. No, I have ways. Yes, it's pretty cool.
It is neat.
I've got it on a little stand.
Thank you very much.
I made a little stand going next to my distant screws 2 coin, and anyway.
All right. Well, this week what did I do? I went Orthus hunting with you. See, now I'm just going to talk more and longer because we've got one special guest who wanted to be out of here in like 5 minutes. So I'm making him wait
That's
just
not
a little bit
gonna
longer.
happen.
So I did the Orthus hunting, orifice hunting, whatever we want to call it. And yeah, that kind of still sucks balls. And it's like the dumbest gameplay loop I've ever seen in this game. And this game has a lot of dumb gameplay loops. But at least I got to fly my ship a little bit. And I think I was there for, one orifice kill, and then we had a couple, we had the one that double pulsed us, so you're never going to kill it at that point.
Cheated.
Yep. It gave this wonderful little double pulse, and it's like, yeah, he's going to get away before we can kill him after we spent 40 minutes trying to find another one. But then other than that, I've been working. I took my wife out of town this weekend. I took a couple days off of work, something I just don't ever really do anymore. And we went and stayed at a cabin over in Bayfield, Wisconsin. So then on the way home today, I found a cheese house, like Haus. It was super
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
Well, my wife found it. She was like Googling places to check out on the way back. And she's like, she goes, yeah, in Beloit, there's this place. It's a cheese, Haus. I go, house. We're going to the house. And we went and I spent like over $100 on cheese today that I brought home. So I got a lot of cheese now. So I'm a
Taking
happy
to the
man.
cheese house is a good way to make sure the people that live there are cheese homeless.
I'm gonna post this. I gotta post a picture of this place in Chig Chat because I took a picture of it. It really looks like a dump, but it's just full of cheese. And apparently they go around to like cheese auctions and sell their cheese there. And she was telling me she was giving me samples of these random cheeses and telling me like the world cheese competition is like at Lambeau Field. And she was giving me the cheeses that finished like in the top 5 there and stuff. Like there was this crazy blue cheese infused cheddar that I bought more of than I should, like $40 a pound. It was kind of ridiculous.
That sounds awesome.
So,
oh man, it was so good.
Are you telling me that you found people even more cheese crazed than you are?
Oh no. She's like, is there any particular kind of cheeses you like? I said, yes, all of them. So then she just started giving me samples of everything. She goes, all right, you definitely appreciate your cheeses.
Right.
I'm trying to find.
Have you ever been to the World Cheese Championship?
Oh, I will be next year.
Well, let's say they apparently already have. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you realize that there's like an entire cheese stock market kind of thing, right? Where it's traded as a commodity.
That you didn't even know existed, and they did.
Well, no, the cheese stock market thing I knew existed. I've shared that one, I think, in Chig Chat in the past.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it definitely exists. And actually, let me just post a picture of this place real quick, and then I will introduce our special guest. Look at that building. Jesus Christ.
That is a dump.
That is like pure Wisconsin.
And you're like driving down this country road, and I'm like, this really feels like it's just a trap. They put this cheese place out in the middle of nowhere, and we're gonna never be heard from again.
There's stuff growing out of the roof.
Yeah, I don't know what that was exactly.
I just
that's trees in the background actually. But
I just watched the Devil's Rejects, and I'm getting big Devil's Rejects vibes from this building here.
Yeah, it had that vibe as we were approaching. Because honestly, you look all around and you can see like in the windows, you can probably see reflections. There's nothing like around. It was crazy. And like we pulled up and they were supposed to be open at 9 a.m. and we were there at like 10 and the open light wasn't on or anything. And I'm like, dang nabbit. And we're like looking in the window, and also a lady came from the back and like waved. It's like, no, we're open, and runs and turns the open sign on for us. So it was
oh my God, customers.
Oh my God, customers. Thank God cheese gets better with age, because otherwise I don't think I'd buy anything from a place like that. But I definitely say, so people, it is the Benoit Cheese House in Benoit, Wisconsin. I mean, really, I think the population of that town is like 12.
Are you saying house like that because it's spelled weird, or because you're
I like
awesome?
saying it that way because it's awesome.
He's in the house.
That's the only way to spell it, right? All right, so that's enough of that story. Now, without further ado, we've got a very Jesus Christ. We've got a special guest here that I think you guys are going to be excited to hear from. And when I ask him what he's been up to and stuff, it's going to take a while for him to catch up because it's been a while. Everybody, I'd say you don't need any introduction, but we've probably picked up people that might not have even ever listened to an episode with you, which is crazy. This is the great creator of the Loose Screws podcast, Loose Screws community, Loose Screws, I don't know, all kinds of shit. Ty Worsham, how the hell you been, buddy?
Remembering to unmute my mic.
Scrooge father.
Some things never change.
Yeah. So I forgot how to podcast. That's all.
No, I got this, guys. Oh, Ty, you just talk.
Oh, okay. No, honestly, I got back into Warcraft, and the Blizzard train has got a hold on me, and I can't let go. And no, so last week we spent the week in Ithaca, New York, taking my soon-to-be stepdaughter to Cornell so she could tour that to see if that's where she finally decides to go to school or not. So anyway, that's what we did last week. And then this week, I'm back to work, and I spent 3.5 hours today watching YouTube videos instead of actually working because I didn't really want to work. I realized that really quickly as I got back. And that's about all I do now. It's just I spent the weekend playing Diablo 4. I have mixed feelings about that game. The game itself is pretty good, but I really don't like the season pass aspect of it. I think that's going to end up pissing me off in the long run.
I didn't even realize the game released.
It's not out yet. It was just beta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because and I also pre-ordered it, but because I was actually in the alpha too. But anyway, because I was it's funny how this works out. I got a buddy of mine who worked at, like, I met him while he was working at Blizzard while playing World of Warcraft, and then he went over to Riot. He got a better job at Riot, and then he got a better job back at Blizzard, I guess about a year ago now. But anyway, so me and him, we play games together every now and then. I've never actually met him in real life. We talk, but he gives me cool stuff like friends and family beta access or alpha access whenever he can. So
you didn't have to eat a double down sandwich to get the beta code?
No, well, okay, so because I had already pre-ordered Diablo 4, that's what I got for Christmas.
I thought you were going to say you already ate a double down.
I ate one anyways.
Yeah, well, to be clear, I love the double down, and I will eat another one, don't you worry. But the beta or not, the double down will happen. No, so I had gotten the Diablo 4 for Christmas, so I was already in the beta no matter what because I had pre-ordered it. Which don't pre-order games at all ever, but when your fiance gives you Blizzard dollars because she doesn't know what else to get you besides Steam or Blizzard dollars, you say thank you and go buy Diablo 4. So
tell her that guns are an option. Guns are always an option.
Yes.
Guns are always an option, especially Texas. Woo-ha.
America.
Yeah, America. Anyway. So where was I at? Oh yeah. So I was already in the Diablo 4 beta no matter what, but he had got me into the alpha early on because of the friends and family thing, so thought that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Anyway, so I haven't played Elite since I officially left the show. It hasn't even been installed on my computer since I officially left the show. But I just have lost, I don't even know how to say it, like any interest in Elite or any space game really. They've really just all rubbed me the wrong way, so.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Play what's fun.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Yeah.
You fucker. No, just kidding. you can do it. We all have to do what we want to do that gives us joy in life. And if you got fed up with FDev and their bullshit, and what's the one that does Star Citizen? Because you were dabbling into that too, and their bullshit. Yeah, move on, have fun. The fact that you went back to like Blizzard kills me, though. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I was very timid about going back to Blizzard because I had. Give you an idea here. I had been in the original alpha of World of Warcraft back in 2003. Like, that's how long I had been playing World of Warcraft. And then about a year ago, I had actually canceled my subscription for the first time in all that time because I was done with the game. And I guess a little over a year because when they announced Dragonflight, they caught my attention. But I had canceled because I was just done with it. And it was about this time that the guy I know had left because we're friends. We play games together. He's never been into flight sims or Elite or anything, but we play other games together. And the guy was working at Riot, and he messaged me kind of out of the blue and says, "Hey man, I'm going back to Blizzard." And I was like, "Dude, why are you doing that? They're the fucking devil right now, right?" But he said, "Well, the company's kind of doing 180, and they gave me a really good offer, and it's too much money. I can't turn it down." So I was like, "Okay." So he goes back over there, and he's like, "Dude, I can't tell you what it is, but this next expansion looks amazing," and he got me into it. Like, he got me back into it. And then when I started playing again, all these friends that I hadn't even seen in quite a while were logging back into the game. And man, all of a sudden it feels like 2005 all over again. People I hadn't talked to in years are online, and we're running dungeons together, and we're getting pissed off at raids. And it feels like old school Warcraft without all the horse shit. That was classic Warcraft. That was vanilla Warcraft. Classic is not vanilla. So, and I hate to say that I went back to them, but yeah, by all means, Blizzard is not a perfect company right now. They have a lot of problems. But
see, I don't give a crap about that at all. I'm just more. I mean, what Warcraft had become, World of Warcraft had become, is why I left it. It had nothing to do with the politics of the company or any mistakes they had made. I just got sick of how they kept dumbing down a game I loved, and I just quit playing. Is it worth giving a look again, or is it still?
Yes, it is. It definitely is. The biggest example I can give you is this. Okay, I am of the very small minority of people who thinks that Ghost Crawler, Greg Street, is a piece of crap.
Wow.
Yeah, because everybody loves Greg Street and thinks he's like one of the best game developers ever, yada, yada, yada. He is the catalyst behind why everything in Warcraft got homogenized and watered down and turned into this thing where it's like, okay, every DPS class has the same 5 buttons, and every tank class has the same 5 buttons, and every healer class has the same 5 buttons. And they all actually work the same damn thing. It's just skins. Because he wanted it all to be homogenized because it was easier to balance.
I think that it was more just people are fucking whiners. If I were to play a tank, I shouldn't have to be this class. Then they add everything to every class where everything can do everything. It just got, I don't know, it was really dumb.
Well, he was the biggest champion of that.
Okay.
Of homogenizing things. Now, I don't know if he was actually the one behind it, but he was the one most public about it. So he left, and they said, over the past, Shadowlands was a great big pile of trash expansion. And this expansion here, man, they really got things right with the way the classes feel. There's a few that are, warlocks are still behind, and shamans feel janky. So there's a few classes, of course, they need to fix. But they redid the talents. They put back in all the class flavor spells, or most of them anyway. They put in an interesting raid, like a very interesting raid. All the dungeons are interesting. They redid the mythic, the way that the mythic tiers work. They redid the way that gear works. There's a catch-up mechanic. If you're behind on gear or something, you can log in, get the max level, go do this series of quests where you can basically end up getting low-level raid gear to where you can be competitive in a raid without, feeling like you're behind. Or if you work up an alt, things like reputation. A lot of reputation and renown is cross character now. A lot of things are cross character. Not everything, of course, but a lot of things are. The best thing I can tell you about it is that, like, if enough people don't like something about something in the forums, they will respond to it in the forums, and then a few weeks later, they either have the reason why they're not going to fix it, which ends up being a good reason, or they have a fix for it, or they say, well, we can't fix it specifically the way y'all want it to, but here's a good middle ground.
Okay.
And I like that. For the first time for the first time in 20 years that I've ever seen Blizzard do this, they released a 1-year chart of what their expansions are going to contain, or what their patches are going to contain.
Don't we call that a roadmap?
Yep. Blizzard has never done that.
Okay.
And the rate at which they released, or they historically have released patches, is very irregular. A great example, people hold Wrath of the Lich King as like this really, really amazing expansion. And I am of the minority that Lich King is not a great expansion.
That's because you're wrong.
Well, there's a lot of good things in it, don't get me wrong, and I enjoyed it. But there's a lot of flaws with Lich King. Lich King came out, and the very first raid, I believe, released after, Naxxramas was there, but then, Ulduar came out, I believe, 2 or 3 months after.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, 2 or 3, I guess 2 months later, they got, the tournament, the Argent tournament. And then there's like this, I think, 11-month gap between Argent tournament and Ice Crown. So there's no rhythm to the patch releases. And the way, I remember, I was in high-end guild back then. I remember we had just cleared Ulduar. This is back for, normal and heroic. There was just normal, but bosses had hard modes, and there were some optional hard bosses. So we had already cleared Ulduar, and we were working on the hard mode bosses. But then Trial of the Crusader comes out. So we go run Trial of the Crusader because the gear out of there has a higher item level than what drops in Ulduar. So we go run Trial of the Crusader to get gear out of there to go back and finish Ulduar before, realistically speaking, there was enough time had passed to do that. And if they had just waited 3 or 4 months, because they knew that Ice Crown was going to be months down the road. So if they had just waited a little bit longer to release Trial of the Crusader, it wouldn't have felt like this weird gap. And
maybe I don't know. You remember that different than I do.
It's one of those things where, when they released this new class, the Death Knight, it is, it can, all 3 of its specs can tank, all 3 of its specs can DPS, and then the expansion right before this, they had just balanced the 3 tanks, the Druid, the Paladin, and the Warrior, to be, the Druid was like the off tank for his physical damage, and then the Warrior was like the main raid tank because of the shield block, and then the Paladin was the AoE tank. It had balanced them that way, which I don't necessarily think it was balanced, but that's how they had balanced it. And then we get to Lich King, and they put in this new class that can do everything, and can do it better. So why are you bringing the other classes? And there was no parity there, and just it felt bad.
Yeah, but at that time you could still do every raid with any one of the tank classes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And the only class you could really compare that to would be the Warrior, because the other 2 both healed, so they already had additional, utility compared to the Warrior. So it was really just competing with the Warrior. They called it the hero class, and you had to have one character at max level in order to even make a Death Knight.
Death
so
Knight,
I mean, you know, there was a lot of give and take with it. You know, at the beginning of that expansion, there was some iffiness. You know, people were questioning stuff, but there was so much that was added to the game at that time. You know, like that dungeon finder feature and a lot of stuff. It's just as they went along, they just started dumbing everything down, and that's when the game just got stupid. You spam 3 buttons and do the, 90% of the DPS of the top people, in the world at the game at the time was what annoyed me and got me. I stuck around for a couple expansions after that. Cataclysm and Pandaria, I still stuck around for a while, but I quit having fun probably about halfway through Cataclysm.
Yep. Well, I mean, like I said, they've, Greg Street, he was behind, because that's, he was one of the big champions behind the design of Cataclysm, and that's where the homogenization took place. Cataclysm is where they dumbed down the talents into like the 3 buttons or whatever it was. So he was the reason why they did that, and I'm a big believer that he hurt Warcraft more than he helped, and to get him and whoever was working underneath him kind of out of the room. Also, Alex S. Robbie, I'm beyond glad that son of a bitch is out of the picture.
You take these things far too personally. Man.
Well, I mean, reportedly S. Robbie was the one that was walking around touching girls' titties. So
I like titties.
I do too, but I don't do it at work. So
I know, I absolutely know that. But that's the behind the scenes shit that definitely hurts a company, and the fact some of the things that they're accused of doing behind the scenes, absolutely crap. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I judge them on their games, not on what fucking morons they got working for them.
Yeah, and I don't like what they've done with Overwatch 2. That's a clusterfuck unto itself. Diablo Immortal was a clusterfuck, but come to find out, that was really more NetEase on that side of things. That was pushing a lot of that garbage stuff. Like, I can't identify this item for 8 hours or whatever the time limit was, or I can pay $2 and identify it now, or I can't remember how it all worked. It's just insanity. So they haven't brought that over to Warcraft yet. Dragonflight's really, really good. I'm very happy with it.
What kind of rig are you playing on these days? I mean, what's your PC?
I'm still rocking literally the exact same rig I had when I left, man. I got that 10700K with 32 gigs of RAM and the 2080 Ti. So.
Okay, you're still with your 2080 Ti and stuff, and I suppose you can run that game on maximum, even the new expansion and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've always been good at optimizing for. Not like you've got an underpowered system, but I was curious.
Yeah.
Curious how the game looks.
Yeah, although, anyway, so they've done a really good job, and I will say that I'm starting to feel like that 2080 might be getting a little long in the tooth, because I've playing that Diablo 4, man, it really takes advantage of things, and you wouldn't think Diablo would be something that would push your video card and stuff, but with like you got RTX on, you get the all the little bells and whistles that they have thrown in there, and all the little particle effects and stuff, which make it look really good. And I was seeing my frame rates drop to like around 50, 60 every now and then, down from 90. So
okay, well, we've been talking about doing a hardware show at some point coming up. Can we talk into coming back for that when we decide to do it? Maybe we'll time that with the next time you're getting ready to upgrade, and we could have a whole discussion before you do.
Yeah, it's I'm actually so my sister for my nephew's birthday was 3 weeks ago, and for I was visiting my sister. My sister mentioned she's wanting to play Warcraft again, and because she hadn't played in God, I don't remember. It was maybe BC. So she's just going to start a whole new account and start over because she doesn't remember. But she's wanting to play again. So, but she don't have like a PC that she can play on. So I'm actually trying to I got a video card. I got a 1080 Ti. That'll be fine for her. I just got to scrounge together all of the other parts. So I got to figure that out at some point, probably sooner than later, to get her rolling. So
well, all right. Let's plan on having you back for that. Now, did we talk about why you just wanted to come on the show? Did you promote your thing yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised the guys let us ramble this long about Warcraft without hopping in and doing something. So I assume they're all sleeping. But if you
He
want
wants to check on tracks, he might have died.
What
I'm
makes you think we
definitely
were
asleep.
listening?
Okay.
The best part is like I'm doing what I'm about to ask for. I'm doing after I just got through spending 30 minutes talking about Warcraft. So
There you go.
but yeah. Anyway, so
We're gonna start recording for the show, or
all right.
Welcome to the Loose Screws podcast. It's the 20th of. No, okay. I'm sorry. No, go on.
So my future stepdaughter Lizzie, who I mentioned is going to college. So last year she's been in FFA since I think the 6th grade. The Future Farmers of America. Last year she did a science project for them that was based around. She did a study on the different wavelengths of light and the growth rate of different plants underneath different wavelengths of light. And this project actually, she won state with it, and she took it to the nationals in Indianapolis, where she ended up placing 7th overall. And I thought that was pretty cool. So for her project this year, she's doing a social science systems project, and it's about it's a survey that she's going to do. I don't quite know how she's getting data from a survey, but she's doing it because she's far smarter than I am. She's like second in her class right now. But anyway, it's about space farming, and I'm here to ask for everybody's help because she needs a lot of respondents to go to the website and then fill out the survey. It takes about 5 minutes. I think I got all you guys to do it earlier.
yeah,
Not even that.
takes time.
Yeah.
Well,
We've all done it, so now you have to do it.
Yeah.
Listeners.
It took me like less than a minute.
So you do have to have a Google account to fill it out, and it is limited to U.S. citizens because she's wanting to limit it to people in the U.S. because the FFA is Future Farmers of America, so it not really need Future Farmers of Russia. Although, if people are listening to us in Russia, I don't know. I hope your Russian is better than mine. So, anyway, so there's a the website is actually, y'all scrolled this thing down where I can find it. That website is actually tinyurl.com/space farming survey. And we'll put this in the show notes, and I'm sure I can talk traction to sticking it somewhere in a pin for me at some point. Like in the announcements, that'd be like really beautiful and sexy. But we're trying to get as many people as possible to fill this out. We went through the whole process to ask friends and family to post it on their social media to go that path, and we didn't have a whole lot of success. So I'm reaching out to my extended family, and I'm reaching out to my extended family over in Warcraft. So I'm hoping that I can get enough of the people who listen to the show to help us out and fill out the survey. And that's why I was here. That's the long and short of it right there.
So probably everybody who's listening, go fill out that survey right now. And if not enough of you do it, then we'll be back next week with another solid 45 on Warcraft. And you've been warned.
Yeah,
So.
I am sorry I got off a whole Warcraft tangent. I am sorry about that, but it just...
But let's blame Dubs.
Yeah.
I'll
I don't
take it.
think
You can send your hate mail.
But I must say, I'm not sure Doug's has actually talked ever since I started talking about Warcraft. So,
I mean, I don't know. I kind of started falling asleep whenever I heard Warcraft.
yeah, I know. And look, I know that game gets a lot of hate. I get it, but I don't know. I mean, that's actually the. I don't want to go the whole thing again, but I'll just say this. Say what you want about Warcraft, but World of Warcraft saved PC gaming. So, there you go.
You don't like it? Fuck you.
Drops the microphone, walks away.
I don't know. I might give it a try. I might hop in. My daughter's been bugging for it, so I might actually buy the expansion, play a little bit until I get bored of it, and then she can play again.
Well, if you do, or if your daughter does, hit me up because we can do the recruiter friend thing where we get extra, or I think I get a mount and you get a pet or something. I can't remember how it works, but there's rewards to be had there. So
yeah, but that's for like starting a new account, isn't there? I'll just get my old account up and running.
I don't know. I don't remember how it worked.
My brain's smooth. I don't know.
What do you think? I'm an expert in this game?
Look. I'm not the one that was saying Jesus earlier.
Jesus Christ.
Like I'm 90% sure you were saying Jesus Christ. I'm just saying.
Jesus is in the house. That's what
I know what I'm doing on Midjourney now.
Uh-oh.
Have you looked in the recording booth chat? It's already out there.
It's already happened.
What?
Yeah, there's Jesus Christ. Y'all need Jesus. Yeah, it's bad. It's already begun.
Or is it great?
It is great.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Greated.
This is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
You should Google that. Google Jesus Christ.
That's some Lovecraftian Jesus.
Lovecraftian. Yes. Yes, it is.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's your mid-journey. Lovecraftian Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
Lovecraftian cheese?
Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
That's the only reason I was coming back. I just wanted to plug the survey and ask for help on that.
Well, good. And it's good to know that you're alive and well.
Well, I mean, if anybody needs me or has a question or something, y'all can always message me. I'm on nearly every night. I'm just not over here. So
I will also share it with my Stellaris friends.
Did you start a Warcraft podcast yet?
No, I'm not doing more podcasts, man. If I'm gonna do any podcasting, I'm gonna come back over here. So it's not my thing no more. So
the new Warcraft spin-off cast be called Loose Battle Axes.
Wow.
I mean, I'd be lying if I wasn't like it didn't cross my mind. But no, I'm not doing any more podcasts.
Loose druids.
Only night elves.
Oh, I don't know if I want to Google that one. All right.
No, don't do it. Anyway, I'm gonna step off of here so I can get out of y'all's way, but I appreciate it.
I already am.
I mean, that's fine. You go ahead and ruin your targeted advertisements.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, but again, I appreciate you guys, putting up with me and having me on. And I appreciate you guys who fill out the survey. There is something underneath your chair right now, a special gift for me underneath your chair. And if you don't see it, keep looking. It'll be there eventually.
There's just dog poop under my chair.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
The special gift is dog poop.
I want to say that.
Whoa! Don't leave us hanging.
I think we lost Nurgle.
Perfect timing. On
it happens. I love when that happens.
Googling loose druids was very disappointing.
Okay, then.
All right.
Well,
did you have safe search on?
Okay, let's not talk about this now.
All right. Ty,
jumping off again.
Great to hear. Great to talk to you again.
Good to know that you're not dead, and that you're doing well. So we're gonna move on now to should we do what's that thing called? Squadron update. Talk about something other than Warcraft and space farming.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You bet. Take care, buddy.
See you,
Good night, Ty.
All right, where are we at? I need notes. I don't have show notes.
Feel free to open the notes.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, now we're up to squad update.
For those of you who don't know, Ty is the one that started this whole Loose Screws podcast.
It's true.
So blame that motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all his fault.
Here we go. Oh, he pushed it.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
All right. Quite a bit going on around Screw Space. So after a little bit of work, after we expanded into it and spent some time climbing up towards the top, we now have an election that will go active on the next tick in Howard for control of the system. Unfortunately, it is an election, not a war, but vote early, vote often. It's for control. We are see how to say this. We're trying to do a little geopolitical manipulation in HIP 4907. I'm not even going to attempt to explain all the details here. It is explained quite extensively in Blooming Wind's post in the standing orders section. So if you want to help out in 4907, go there for kind of what we need to happen. On the back burner, we are trying to push the NPC faction in Mezavini into expansion. They're currently just below 64%, because when they expand, that will fill an empty slot in one of our systems with a neutral faction, which is what we want. We have successfully pushed Maikoro into expansion now, barring some fairly significant change. That's almost certainly going to the LHS 3980 system. So we appear to be locked in. That should fire off sometime around next week's show. I'm thinking probably Sunday's tick, plus or minus a day. We've got a couple of systems that are overheating that need some cool down. Those are listed in the standing orders post. And then I wanted to give a quick update on where we sit as a faction. The Loose Screws Network faction currently resides in 41 systems. We control 25 of them. A lot of those we share with like Antal, where we don't want to be in control. And there is a total population on all those systems of 23.2 billion souls. And that's where we stand. I mean, considering we have 41 systems and 23 billion, we've got some chunkers in there.
That's like $1 an hour.
It is like $1 an hour. But, on the grand scheme of things, the really big factions, some of them are in the hundreds of billions. So we're not really a big fish, but we're in the upper part of the pond. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, and if you want more details on any of that, all of that is detailed in the standing orders post in the Loose Screws section of the Discord. And of course, if you have any questions, you can post them in the Loose Screws faction channels or in the questions channel. Trust me, there's plenty of us that love talking about this on a regular basis, and we will be happy to answer those questions.
All right, I'm going to keep this train moving.
Another slow news week? Well, let's get on with it. March 14th, federal eyes on Congress debate. And on March 16th, Ammonia World Survey concludes, and Aegis recommends preventative anti-Xeno tactic. That's all the news this week. Have fun out there.
Huh.
That wasn't funny at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Bard, you need Jesus.
Definitely need Jesus in your life, because with Jesus, all things are possible. I
put Jesus in the recording booth.
We got an expiration report this week.
We sure do.
Oh my God, the date's even in there, all weird. I love it. All right,
let's do that. And I swear to God, Grover, this better be funny.
No pressure.
Space, the final front. Space to go. No. Space. It's bigger than Texas, and with a better power grid. And this is the exploration report. We're continuing our beginner's guide to exploration and having a bit of a closer look at the FSS scanner, the full spectrum system scanner. The default key to enter and exit is the apostrophe key. You may need to bind controls to pan the camera around the system, as well as zoom in and out of signal sources, and adjust the frequency slider to match the signal source you're looking at. The default keys are shown at the bottom of the screen. And the first time you enter the FSS, a small tutorial will appear showing you the basics. A signal source may be a dotted circle or just a highlighted area in your view. You won't be able to zoom in to get detail about that source until you have matched the frequency, but when you do, there's a bit of information you can gather depending on the object. In this case, we're looking at planetary bodies. Once you have zoomed into a body, you will see what that body looks like from your current position, like looking through a telescope. The bottom left will show you data including your distance away from the body. The top middle will show you its name and the object type, for example if it's a high metal content world. At the top right is an info panel. The left side of this shows the raw resources or materials you might find on that planet. But on the right side is often the most important for an explorer. The locations area will tell you if it has geological or biological signals, and how many. Biological signals are the current cash cow in the game, apart from AX combat, and geological will provide places you can gather materials from if you have an SRV. Occasionally, you may spot a notice popping up telling you information such as the world you're looking at is terraformable, but that's not always going to happen. To see that detail, you need to look at the system map, and we will look at that next time. In exploration news, the Independent Explorers Association are promoting their latest exploration entitled Izanami, Land of Dreams. Starting April 30th, the expedition plans to explore the Izanami region northwest of the Galactic Center. Check out the show notes for more information. There's also some behind-the-scenes work at Loose Screws on another expedition, and I myself am planning a mini-expedition for next month to visit all the generation ships. Be sure to join our Discord for more information on those adventures. Today's exploration tip comes from Commander Graphic Equalizer via Reddit. If you're planning to spend any length of time away exploring, trade up your grade 1 and 2 raw materials. You will quickly refill mats like phosphorus, chrome, iron, sulfur, and more while on a planet, especially if it has geological signals or even better, non-atmospheric biologicals, such as brain trees. This has been the Exploration Report, coming to you live from the future. Mrs. Nurgle thinks Nurgle is a sex kitten or something like that.
Sex kitten.
All right.
He's my best friend. He's my pal.
Said.
He's my homeboy. My rotten soldier. He's my sweet cheese.
My God.
Wonderful, Grover. That was good. All right.
Fantastic.
We will allow you to live for one more week.
Wow. Check
but he's in
under
the
your
future,
chair.
so he could see it coming.
He already knows. My God. All right. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn. Let's do something else.
Yeah. In-game news. So there was some things. Caustic Sinks happened. I guess that was last week or something. Yes, that's right. Because I went to go get them. This is all coming back to me now. I was like hunting to try to get them on while we were recording the show like 2 weeks ago, and it made me very distracted. Anyway, I did figure out how to get them. They kick ass, by the way. I don't. As far as right now is concerned, it doesn't look like they're going to make it onto my actual Thargoid combat ships. But from the perspective of a ship that's going to be in a maelstrom or anything that's hunting Orthrus or something like that, they really do their job well. But if I only have 4 utility points on a chieftain or something, or a Krite, I'm not going to use one of them up on one of these things. I'd rather have heat sinks for fighting big Thargoids, difficult Thargoids. What do you think?
I'm gonna have them because I want them. I don't need a reason. I just put them on shit.
Yeah, I haven't gone to get them yet or anything. I don't know. I'm waiting to find out what the use is.
Yeah, is it going to be something to get us into the heart of the maelstrom, or is it just another beginner-friendly tool component?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
things easier.
If you're someone who uses shields, like, it's a good idea because now you don't have to silent run to burn off the caustic.
Yeah.
Launch a sink and go on.
Yeah, I suppose they could be good for that sort of thing, which is most of the time, again, not going to be the same as like somebody who's going to go fighting Medusas and Hydra and stuff. So,
yeah.
Right on. Well, okay. So then here's the next thing, as Bard mentioned. This Aegis recommends preventative anti-Xeno tactic. So I'm gonna click on this so I can call it up in front of me here.
The trigger warning. Did you put the trigger warning?
I didn't add the trigger warning.
I put the trigger warning.
So this article posted on the 16th, and it set the whole place ablaze. Because it's an in-game story news article about how Aegis believes that we need to focus more on alert systems, and then they specifically mention Orthrus vessels in particular appear to be key to prepping systems for invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can I take this for a minute?
Do it.
All right. So, yes, in a perfect world, if we were actually fighting, Thargoids, we would want to stop them from ever invading a system. We would want to deal with the alerts. We would like to repel them before they invaded the system. That is how we would want it to work. That's what they apparently, with this little article and what they were suggesting, that's what they want us to do. They're telling us, you're fighting the war the wrong way. If you really want to stop the Thargoids, this is what you need to be doing. Great, we all agree. However, that is not the way your game works. There are no options in alert systems other than randomly flying around looking for signal sources. Orthrus, as I'm sure Trax will be happy to tell us, just don't fucking show up. And compared to invasion systems where you have 1,000 different things you can do, including combat, that will affect the war effort, there's almost no options in an alert system. Specifically, if you are looking for combat, there are no options other than hunting signal sources in an alert system. That's why they are radioactive. They are toxic to the community. Nobody wants to go and do them because, newsflash FDev, they're not fun. People wait for the invasion because then they can do all the combat they want, and newsflash, it's actually easier to repel an invasion than it is to stop an alert because there are more things to do, more people get engaged, and it's actually fun to do. Rant off, back to our regular programming.
Yeah, even though they're specifically telling us that alerts are easier to repel than invasions, they're actually not. When you consider what we could actually do to put points on the board. Like, right. I'm sure under the hood, it takes fewer points, but we spent a whole evening. I played for 3 hours with a wing so we could all see independently different signal sources in each system. And we bounced around to, I think, a total of 4 different alert systems. We just bouncing back and forth between them. We found I think 4 Orthrus all night, and one of them cheated and did a shutdown field and then did another one about 15 seconds later and got away because it cheated.
It was less than 15 seconds. I mean, it was
I don't know what it was,
seconds.
but the point
my cooldown wasn't up yet.
Right, it was before we could have neutralized it again.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's a cheat move. They're not allowed to do that. So
hey, you're wrong.
It's garbage.
Pretty sure they just did.
Yeah, they just
Clearly
fucking
they
did,
are.
man.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
It sucks. It sucks. And so here's and zoom out. So there's the perspective of Nurgle that is concentrating on BGS expert. So he's thinking about it like the game mechanics perspective, like it's a board game, because this Thargoid War is like a board game imposed on the galaxy map. And from another perspective, we have, sorry, I was going to start coughing. We have the update 14 happens and Orthrus get added, and we're all like, oh yeah, all right. We know exactly what's going on. Obviously, this is an important new thing, and we go out and we check them out. Oh, look at that. There's a probe there. They scoop it up and then they go, this is alert system. We're all putting it together day one, right? And we got to blow them up. We got to stop them getting these probes. Interesting new thing, kind of. They're describing it as entry-level Thargoid combat, which it's really not, because there's not like any other Thargoid at all. It teaches you nothing. But whatever. It's a way to see a Thargoid, right? And we see that. So then on the FDev streams, several times over the course of weeks and months, CMs and devs both make comments to the effect of, it's so weird, everyone just shot them right away. Aren't you curious what they're doing? And I'm thinking, no, we fucking didn't. We saw what it did. It's scooping up a probe. It's obviously gathering information. Then we blew it up. There's nothing else to do with it. And they're insinuating, they're sort of kind of making fun of us, frankly, and insinuating on stream that like there's something else that we're missing about this. And they keep insinuating that even up until fairly recently. They're insinuating there's something else going on that you guys are missing. You haven't found it yet. Something else that's going on. And I'm thinking, what's this new mystery, right? And Darren is on stream saying, you're going about it the wrong way. You need to shoot where they're going to be, not where they are. And I'm thinking, what could he possibly mean? Because it's not alert systems, because we tried that already. And it makes no sense. You can't do it. The signal sources in there are rough. I mean, finding Orthrus is super hard. They barely ever show up. There's a bunch of other signal sources, and those instances, it's hard to get any combat done in them. It takes a long time to go through them. It's very low-level combat, mostly scouts and waiting. Actual minutes fighting real Thargoids, extremely small proportion. And I don't feel like it. It sucks. Plus, the Orthrus requires a dedicated build. You have to build a ship specifically without the Guardian modules that are good for fighting other Thargoids. So you don't even want the same ship doing all the other signal sources that are in alert systems other than Orthrus.
And for Orthrus huntering, not only do you have to avoid Guardian tech, you have to have a fairly high DPS build. I mean, there are not a lot of options in terms of an Orthrus ship. Yeah,
I mean, I'll tell you right now, serious pre-engineered AX missiles are the way to go. They're an expensive buy. It takes a lot of materials. You got to buy them each per unit. I bought 4 of them. It was before the enhanced guns started coming out. They are better than the enhanced guns for Orthrus because they have rapid fire on them. But other than that, like whatever, if you're in a wing, you should be able to do it just fine. I can easily do them by myself. Without a wing with those rapid fires, it's pretty tough without the rapid fires, but it can be done. Blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it's not the same ship that's going to go turn around and fight in these other things where interceptors can spawn sometimes. So if you're to be effective in an alert system, you need 2 different ships depending on what signal source shows up. And guess what happens when you're patrolling in your fully armed ship and then you see an Orthrus signal source? You don't have time to go get your other ship. It's going to be gone. So you got to pick one. You can't do both. So everything about this is made to not be able to do the Orthrus, and they're saying this crap to us on stream, and then as if they were dropping hints trying to get us to go to the alert systems, and it wasn't a strong enough hint, they have this Galnet article come out. And I find it a little weird that, suggesting to us, for one thing, at first, that we shot it too quickly, and then to turn around and tell us that, well, you're supposed to be shooting it, you guys. Why aren't you shooting them? Like, give me a break.
Because we can't fucking find them.
Yeah, acting like there's some mystery, like it scoops a probe. Like, hour 1 of update 14, we all knew it scoops a probe. Anyway, I'm
and we've swooped in and stolen the probe from it before it can.
Right.
We've
I scooped the probe right in front of its nose. Ugh.
And look, I know it's cliched to joke about FDev not playing their own game, but if they're seriously going to sit there and tell us that, oh, you're doing the war wrong, you need to be doing alert systems, you need to be doing Orthrus, you're not playing the game I'm playing.
Yeah. If you want me in that system, you need to put stuff that's worthwhile to do there, that's actually going to put points on the board. And if you want me to do Orthrus, you need to make you need to make them easy to find somehow, so that when I get in my dedicated build, I can put points on the board with that. Or you need to make it so I can fight them in my regular Thargoid combat ships, so that I can be doing other stuff in between. And then the Orthrus is a nice bonus when one shows up that I can prioritize when I see it, but do other things in the meantime. But those are mutually exclusive right now. So it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen.
For me, what's happened is, my favorite thing to do in this game was murdering Thargoids for months. We went after the trophy to be the best Thargoid killing squadron there is, and for that one brief moment in time, it was fun. and then all of a sudden this Thargoid war starts. So I was super excited. I was pumped about all this stuff, and now I'm logging on just to fly my ship and hope for the best, because I don't know what I can't do anything. Unlike Lark, I very much like that. Not to me, meta is dumb, but I like to optimize my ships as best I can. I'm not obviously flying a chieftain with this and that, and right now who knows? But I build my ships, for specific purposes. And right now, if I want to be out there, it's weird. You can't do anything really, and I just haven't been logging on, and I hate that, because I love flying my ship. I wish that CQC had a population so I could at least play the game and shoot some friends. But even when we try to do that, it's just a goddamn shit show. So I don't know. Right now I'm a little bit sour on the game, and I log on just so that I can fly. Very low. When I'm sitting at my computer, it's like, do I want to log on to this, or do I want to go play some classic NES games on the Switch? I'm going to go play some classic NES games on the Switch, because I can't bring myself to have a smile and have that go away with frustration, because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think I'm going to jump on some of this BGS stuff, because it is popping off.
There you go. And as someone who went all in on the Thargoid War BGS, it's really frustrating for me to see, for one, to have them tell us, "Oh, you're doing it wrong." When no, we're playing the game you've built for us. We know what you want us to do, but that's a pain in the ass. And people are getting burned out. You're starting to see participation drop off, and because they've made it abundantly clear that they have some idea in their head of how we're supposed to do this, and if we're not going to do that, then the Thargoids are just going to keep rolling. And as typical, and I hate to say this, but typical for FDev, they have taken a great idea and implemented it terribly. And that is so disappointing.
Do you think... No, how do I want to say this? I just ran into a mail slot like an idiot. The overall war, like even going back to the combat, I don't want to make my major complaint about basically my perspective as somebody who isn't an AX beginner, like, because I get that they made the Thargoid War accessible to a lot more people, with all of the focus on basically kind of entry level AX and getting enhanced weapons that make some of getting started in it easier and stuff like that. Like all that's super important because it needs to not be a slim part of the population. Like the stream a couple of weeks ago with the AXI that came on with them. AXI talked about a bunch of things like their challenge ranks, and there's like less than 300 people that have their rank for solo killing a Hydra. So I knew that was like not a lot of people. I thought I would have guessed it was something like 1,000. I did not know it was that small, right? So I get that what they did to kind of focus on making it accessible to a much wider part of the elite population is important, and they're absolutely right to do that. But
they did a good job of it.
And they did a really good job of it. There is tons of combat zones that are just an endless parade of Cyclops, the easiest interceptor, and there are guns out there and advanced scanners, so you can fight them without having to learn Guardian stuff or grind for Guardian unlocks. All of that is good, but there is actually nothing that's been added. It's harder than ever to find anything other than an endless parade of the easiest interceptors.
Well, and from the mechanic side of the war, they've got two issues they have to deal with. One is there's really no reason to do anything other than combat, because combat moves the needle so much more than anything else.
Oh, does it? Because I'm running passengers right now.
Well, that's a hard thing to do because it's so easy to run passengers or cargo or evacs or whatever. I mean, I understand why they have it counting for less, but there is a bottomless pit of combat options. Most people want to do the combat. Combat moves the needle more than anything else, and it's more interesting than running passengers, at least as long as you're not trying to do that and do a podcast at the same time. So people gravitate, they want the combat. They don't want to do the quote-unquote boring stuff, which is a large part of why alerts are such a pain in the ass. And then the other problem, and people are probably not going to like me for this, is surface combat CZs where the Thargoids don't have swarms are such an easy mode that a good 90% of the AX pilots out there literally will do no AX combat that is not a surface port CZ.
Okay, so you're saying you see when you pick targets, you are picking the ones that have surface CZs in them because those are going to drop in days compared to the other ones that have much less participation.
Because those will finish, the others will not.
Yeah.
Because people will look and say, oh, that's not a surface port, and literally go to another system 50 light years away that means absolutely nothing just so they can get their surface CZ and have easy mode Thargoid combat.
Mm. So what do you I mean, I would love to see other stuff appear, like, I don't know, I think the station CZs, they don't have an intensity rating on them. I feel like they should be variable. Like,
yes, it
would be nice to have some that are much higher intensity and they could be labeled as such, and maybe the beginners stay away from those or something. That's fine, as long as they count for 5 times more or something, right? Yeah. Which like regular human CZs do. It's like a difference of like 1 to 5 between low and high, right?
There's got to be some variability, and there has to be a reason to go and find something that is not easy mode. And
yeah, and I'm not saying take away easy mode because
but I am. I'm saying you gotta fix the Thargoids not having swarms over planets. Otherwise, the vast majority of the people, and the 300 people that are on the solo Hydra kill list, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't, okay, I'm not talking to you either. But you're on that list. If
I didn't submit to them for a rank, but I would be.
Yeah. If you don't take away that option, there are a huge overwhelming number of people out there who like blowing up Thargoids who, I'm not going to do that. They're swarms. That's hard. And you're just not going to get them off of that.
And so
yes,
that's you got it. Yeah.
I'm a pessimist. I see the lowest common denominator of humanity. But there's a lot of them who don't want to learn how to do Thargoid combat. They don't want to learn to deal with swarms. They just want that easy, fat Thargoid cash, and they don't care where they'll go to get it. They don't care about the war. They'll go wherever they get that surface port.
Yeah. I wonder if nothing. I was going to speculate as to the reason for why they, but it probably doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter. It might be technical because the Thargoids have never deployed swarms when they're on surfaces. Even back when before the war, there were places where you could cause Thargoids to spawn and fight them on surfaces, and they never had swarms there either. But I think back to before the war, the battle for 22-460 and stuff like that. There was a time when those around the battleships, they didn't have swarms either. And then FDev made a change, and the swarms appeared. And I saw the swarms on multiple occasions ring the battleships. And the ring gets enormous. It's kilometers wide, many kilometers wide. It looked insane. I thought I was dreaming. And then I saw it multiple times in confirmed sightings by other people. So the thing is, it perceives it as a ship, and it's drawing the ring of death around them. So now I'm thinking, do they have it coded so they can't tell the swarms not to ring anything they see? And if they have them come out of the planet, are they going to ring the planet?
And it's frustrating to me that they have built this massive layer of Thargoid BGS for us to play with, and they clearly have an idea in their head of what it takes to beat the Thargoids, but the incentives for play are completely jacked up and don't match the way that they have written their simulation to work. Does that make sense? You are incentivized to do things that don't help. And it's frustrating.
Yeah. Well,
for real.
I agree. Missions are still all wrong. I'm worried that they thought they solved it by increasing the payout considerably.
Yeah.
But they're still not completable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
don't get me wrong.
Told to my face.
Yeah.
I was told to my face by support that I should take the mission at a station and then go somewhere else to fulfill it. Just in open space, I'll get more high-level Thargoids than in a conflict zone of all things. So,
because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But anyway, I've been over that before.
Yeah, we've beaten this dead horse.
How did I know we were going to talk about this for ages? Any other comments?
Please?
Anybody?
I got nothing. And love flying my spaceship.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talk about that message for help story thing. That's pretty interesting.
I was going to move on, and you said you did this. So the next day, not the next day, a few days later, there was an article about Jin-ae. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to say it either. I'm just going to call her D2.
All right.
That was her code name.
Yeah. So I have this message from is it Admiral Tanner? Anyway, not Admiral anymore, Tanner, in my inbox. I didn't follow it up yet, but you did.
I did, yes. Would you like me to go over it? Spoilers, in case you don't.
Yeah, do you think it's too soon to do spoilers on it, or has it been out for long enough? I haven't done it. I haven't looked at any videos either.
I don't know. Bird did a video.
Yeah, I've heard that the voice acting is great.
It is. It's really good.
Comments about spoilers. I sincerely want opinions if we should do it.
Do it.
And we've given people a spoiler warning. So if they don't want to hear it, shut up your ears.
If you don't want to hear it, go ahead, jump ahead. I don't know. How long do you want to talk about this? 20 minutes.
What? 20 minutes?
20 minutes? I don't know if we're going to go 20 minutes.
All right, jump ahead full 8 minutes. I don't know. Go on.
Okay. So you get that message, and it's about, hey, such and such went missing. Can you go and check out in the system and see if you can help find her, right? And when you go there, I can't remember exactly what it is you come across there. Because I remember I scanned. That's what I did. I found there's some kind of beacon near. There's only one station there, and I can't think of the name of the station, but you'll see it when you get to the system that it asked you to go to. There's a beacon there. It'll say like hacked beacon, right? And that's where you scan that beacon and you download these 3 audio logs. And you can read it or you can listen to it or both. And you can save them to a playlist. They're very well voice acted. Pretty much what she says is she has this evidence that is apparently not super convincing to Admiral Tanner. At least he doesn't feel like it's hard enough evidence to prove this is not just some theory of hers. That apparently Salvation had worked out a way to have his consciousness, download his consciousness with some sort of guardian technology. So when his body died in HIP 22460 at the start of the Thargoid War, that he didn't actually die. His consciousness just went somewhere else.
There it is.
Into this guardian technology, which, like, I knew he wasn't fucking dead. But still. But then by the time you get to the end of the audio log, some ships are dropping in on her location, and you can hear her take off. And he asked her, he says, quick, give me a system I can dispatch, I can dispatch a wing to help you out or whatever, right? I don't remember the exact words. And she says, Shang-Di, and then cuts it. And that's where it cuts, right? So I went to that system, to Shang-Di. And there I found some curious ship debris. And when I found it, there's no voice acting on this part, but it is when you scan it, you get a ship log uplink of a conversation between people on various ships, or on a few different ships, like they're traveling in a wing together. I think it's 4 of them. And they're saying, like, just analyze the wakes. Geez, none of them give her name. She's hardly going to have D2 stamped on her ship, but they're looking for her. And it says, let's take one system each. And they go, one goes to Electrona, one goes to EGM 95, one goes to Anka, and one goes to Maine. And those are all system names. And the plan is for them to disable her ship and force her to use an escape pod. I imagine to capture her. Whoever these people are. I imagine they work for Salvation.
I imagine they work for the Unspecified Meat Emporium.
By the way, this whole thing she's uncovered, I forgot to mention, it's called Project Nemesis.
Oh, right. Oh, man.
I don't know where they got the idea for that name. It's crazy.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
All right, I'm a little foggy still.
Anyway, so I traveled to. I just picked one of them. I think I picked Anka. Was the one I went to first, and I ended up finding some notable degraded emissions. Right, is what it's called. And like when I see these on the thing on the navigation panel, and I select them, I notice it's not like regular degraded emissions. Like there's no timer on these.
It's so I was POI, yeah.
Yeah. So I go there and I find a bunch of ship debris with a ship log uplink, and when you scan it, you just get message corrupted, analyzing, transcription failed, and then it has this weird message of W4HHATIN space TH ampersand space EFUU9 ... hashtag quote, a bunch of
so it's garbage
stuff you can see. Yeah. And then what I thought was real interesting about that, well, because one, that might be part of a code, that people with more time and smarts than me will be able to figure that out. What I thought was more notable and maybe more like a code is in the subject, there's clearly it's E dash, and then there's a star, ENGHY, and then a bunch of dots, and then 6E, and then some dots, and then 88 dash hashtag ampersand. So I don't know if that is like some kind of system, kind of like playing Hangman with some system name somewhere, or but it appears to be just a bunch of jarbled nonsense. This is as far as it seems like anybody has gotten so far. But also, so I haven't watched Burpit's. I haven't watched Burpit's video yet, even though I told Borked I would. I'm sorry, Borked. I haven't got around to it yet.
I had heard that nobody's decoded it, like we might be missing pieces. So
Borked had watched the video, and he was talking to me about we were doing this while I was doing this last night because I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and so I was following the threads and jumping around. But that's as far as we got so far. So apparently, and this could lend credence to one of Nurgle's theories about, and apparently, and this is what Bork said or mentioned in the video, a tin hat theory. And it could lead, and this could be something to do with a prediction Nurgle had, is the message that we see them, we are coming, might not have been the Thargoids talking about us. It might have been a guardian. It might have been Salvation using this guardian tech and having something to do with the guardian AI, since that would, there'd be two consciousnesses there now, maybe in contact with each other or unifying into one. And that could have been a message that they said, that they sent out. And now that there's a guardian AI that's going to come into this with Salvation's consciousness there with it.
Hence all the triangles everybody's been yelling about on streams.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. You have to update me on that.
Oh, for the last 3 or 4 streams, people have been thinking that they're seeing the devs/CMs making adding symbols of triangle shapes into it with M&Ms at one point, and I guess Tom did it with his hands at another point. Things like that. Everybody thinks they've been trying to signal to us about Guardian stuff.
I think that just means the F-devs are signaling to the other Illuminati members.
What would triangles have to do with Guardians?
Because their stuff is, I don't know. The Guardian things are triangle shaped. The relics. There's a lot of Guardian stuff that's triangle shaped.
I don't know. Are they hollow triangles or are they solid triangles?
Oh my God, really? Hold on.
I'm joking because, like, on a radar, that means they have hard points deployed, and if they're hollow, that's a player. If they're solid, that's a NPC.
The Guardians, their symbol, their whole symbol is a triangle made out of triangles.
Their whole symbol is the ancient symbol for symbolic gesture of a penis.
What?
What?
No.
Are you not aware of that?
What?
You've never watched the Da Vinci Code?
Just nod and
why
smile.
would I have watched the Da Vinci Code?
Anyway,
the point is, the Guardian's whole thing is a triangle. I'm looking at it in the codex right now.
Why do I make references for children?
We're done with the Da Vinci Code. So, all right. Anyway, Cool story.
Forget
bro.
I said that. Forget I said
But
that.
life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh God.
Is that the right movie? No.
Shut up, Jake.
Yeah.
No.
You've done a bad job.
My
Did a
bad.
bad thing.
Let's move on.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
that's a very fun story. Yay. Good job.
What were you saying, Trax? You were saying that the Guardian's symbol is triangles.
Yes. The
That
Guardian
explains
symbol
a-
is triangles.
That explains some things about their architecture when you go to the Guardian sites. It's all very like angular.
Yeah.
It's
The
triangles all the way
monolith
down.
things, yeah, the obelisks, that's what they're
Yeah.
called. They're triangular. Everything's triangles with them, with these guys. So anyway, that was probably real. They probably were trying to signal to us Guardian stuff, which is fine because we all speculated that before. So really, Nurgle, so you think that the comment about "we hear you, we're coming," or no, we see them, we're coming, or whatever it was from from Guardians or to Guardians or about Guardians?
No, I didn't think that had anything to do with Guardians. From the very beginning, when the Maelstroms first started moving, my theory was that there's going to be a Guardian AI interaction at some point. And I stand by that. I think that at some point the Guardian AI makes an appearance, be it either friend or foe.
Well, apparently, yeah. So the Witch has inserted himself into an AI based on Guardian tech. So on the path.
Yeah, I mean that was the basis for that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the basis for that theory.
Right on.
We're kind of there.
Yep.
Anyway.
Kind of there. Anyway, so anyway, that's the in-game news. That was a good so good and bad in-game news.
Spoilers over.
Right. Spoilers over. I have a bit of dev news for you. So trying to take this in order,
Dev's
I guess.
not here, man.
There was a discovery scanner today that talked about on Thursday they did a tick. It at the same time as this article came out about how we should be hunting the Orthrus according to Aegis. They had the same day done a rebalance. What they rebalanced was previously unpopulated systems that are now under Thargoid control or alert states can be easier to push back. So if it's unpopulated, they're easier, which I guess makes it seems necessary because there aren't like stations there to do things like run passengers from or fight in conflict zones, because if there's no population, there's no conflict zones, I guess.
Yes.
Right? And Thargoids will deprioritize its expanding into unpopulated systems. So they made unpopulated systems easier and then tried to make it so that those wouldn't get invaded anyway. Great. Those two things make perfect sense together. Love that. So anyway, whatever. I assume that that's important, and they probably made a very small change. On Thursday, there will be a Frameshift Live. It will feature developer guests from the audio team to talk about music. Hooray. Sincerely, hooray. And then there's also a spring sale going on, along with the Steam spring sale, or perhaps because of it. Elite is 75% off right now, and Odyssey is 55% off. And that is through the 23rd, so 3 days from now as we record this. There's also a spring sale in the livery. Things are either 15 or 30% off, depending on what they are, until March 24th. So that's that. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Go get a shiny.
Yeah. I wonder
Sounds
if
good
I
to
have
me.
enough arcs to afford anything.
I'm
Maybe I
excited.
don't. Maybe I don't.
I doubt it that I do, but I might.
Yeah. If I have enough to buy a Challenger ship kit, I will buy it. Otherwise, I will probably buy nothing, because the Challenger doesn't have any cool paint jobs. By the way, have to have paint jobs for the Challenger. Do it. Excellent ship.
If I have
Doesn't
enough
any
to
good
buy
paint
a
jobs right now.
Challenger ship kit, I probably still won't do it.
So anyway, that's basically what I have for notes. I leave it to you.
Yeah.
Chig, you're hosting.
I got nothing. I zoned out there for a little bit. What do we got? Chig chat.
Jeez.
This is what I got.
Oh, chig chat.
Quick
That's
chig
what
chat.
you do.
I guess Lark and his wife on Wednesday, 15-year wedding anniversary. Good job, buddy.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
congratulations, Lark.
Nice job. I always find it
15
amazing
orbits.
that any of us have found women that can put up with us for more than, months, let alone
Yeah,
tell me
years
about
and
it.
years.
She puts up with him putting an SRV and everything.
I know. What a wow.
And his crazy meme builds.
Heart
What
of
a-
gold on that woman.
Absolutely
But I mean, seriously,
a gem.
I'm curious how long some of our members have been married. Nurgle, let's start with you because this has got to be epically long. How long have you been married?
31 years.
Jesus Christ. That's
No one's been alive that long.
Yeah. Madness. What about you, Trax?
10 years in August.
10 years in
We're planning
August.
a trip out to California.
Teflon?
Woo.
Be 15 years in May. We're planning. We're planning to go see a traveling Broadway show.
Oh, cool.
Kick ass.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, that's cool. Dubs?
I guess I'm a little below the average. I'm only at 13.
13. Jesus. All right. Other
Well, to be
dubs.
fair, Nurgle's throwing off the bell curve. a lot.
I'm inflating the average.
Other dubs.
I mean, that's at least 52 years in Dub's years.
I've been married for 10 years.
Wow. I'll be 20 in September. So
Okay, but how long have you been married?
20 years.
Ba-da-bum-ba-dum-bum.
So what I'm hearing is that nobody in this channel right now is safe from alimony.
Is
You
it,
would
is,
make
it,
it to it.
is it the
I'm a
Texas
stay-at-home
dust
dad,
that makes you
so-
think like that?
It's
I'm a
paint
house
chips.
husband, so I would be the one collecting the alimony.
Well, shit, man. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
That's
There
crazy.
We've grown
Terrible
accustomed to a
differences.
lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
Every one of us has been married, and every one of us married for a really long time. That's impressive. Guys.
I'm
Good job.
accustomed to have
We're all
horseradish
double
white
digits.
cheddar cheese and
There you
buffalo
go.
chicken lunch meat with olive oil mayonnaise and
We just,
What?
pecan honey mustard
You just started
sandwiches.
I
I
rattling
think he's
off
thinking
foods.
of the
What's
fanciest
happening?
foods he can think of, because
I was
that's what
thinking
he's going
of
to
the
buy with his
sandwich on the
alimony
show.
money.
Thinking of the
That's all
sandwich
stuff that's
I'm
been on the
literally
show.
eating right now.
Oh, sweet.
the mere fact that we're all in double-digit duration marriages puts us above the American average.
It sure does.
Well, it might explain why we all play this game. We're accustomed to great lengths of pain.
Oh.
I mean, speak for yourself. I'm not in any pain. I like my marriage.
Oh, she's sitting in the other right next to you, isn't she? Yeah, that makes sense. No, I
she's
love
asleep.
my wife. 20 years. We just went away for a romantic weekend. Stayed in a little cozy cabin, had a jacuzzi and a fireplace and all that stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm happily married. So
Bearskin rug.
Yeah, without her, you wouldn't have
Well-
got to go to that weird cheese place with stuff growing on the
I
roof.
know she googled
Yeah,
it and
exactly.
found it. Yes, I got a good
She's a
portobello
keeper.
and portobello mushroom and chive cheddar that I'm dying to try. I gotta crack that one.
Interesting.
All right, well, then we need to talk about cheese and movies.
Oh,
Yes, we do.
Yeah, all right. Teflon, speak.
Did you guys do the cheese from last week?
Yes, we did.
Okay, well, I can't talk about that one now. I got to go back to my computer.
Well, how about we do a
So-
portobello and chive cheddar?
Yeah,
Love it.
let's do that.
Love it.
Chig, take it.
That was really good. Well, I don't know yet. I haven't tried it, but I bought it and it wasn't that expensive. But I bet it's
Buying
going to
it
be
was
really
really
good.
good?
I will give a full report next week. That's
Excellent.
the cheese.
I'm definitely not eating horseradish white cheddar right now, which is really good.
I wish I was.
All right.
So that's the cheese this week.
Yeah.
For movies, movie anniversaries. Movie anniversary. You guys ready for movie anniversaries?
Oh, yeah.
Fire
How much-
away.
How much longer can I stall this while I walk back to my computer?
Do you want me to do the first one? It's Bruce
No, I got it.
Almighty.
20 years, Bruce Almighty on May the 23rd.
Nice.
Cue crickets.
Yeah, I didn't
it's
really
fine.
care that much either, but I figured people would
Was
remember
that
it.
the first one? What was the second one that they made?
And the second one was,
Ted Almighty. I don't know.
It had Steve Carell in it.
Yeah. Because it was
He was in
Bruce Almighty, and then that was.
Wait, are you saying there was sequels to it?
Evan Almighty.
Yeah.
Evan Almighty was the second one.
Yeah, Data would know.
Bruce Almighty was Jim Carrey, and then
Steve Carell was Evan Almighty. He was Noah. Noah in the Ark. Was that one. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, then the next movie anniversary we have on March the 20th. Today, it's been 25 years since Wild Things. Which I don't know if any of you remember that movie, but like I put it on here because I remembered that movie because I used to watch the VHS because when I was a teenager, I had a big crush on Denise Richards, and
Pornhub did not exist then.
Yeah. She gets naked in that one.
Yeah, she does.
I only used part of that VHS. So I don't even know what that movie's about.
Just one section of the movie. Somebody tried watching it one time, and that one section of the tape was all just fuzzy and worn out.
It just goes to static for like 10 minutes, right? Like in this weird area.
Yeah, Mom, I just censored that part of the video on purpose.
Yeah.
May 25th.
Speaking of Denise Richards.
May
Speaking of
25th.
Denise Richards with no claws on.
May 25th.
Wait, why?
May 25th.
Why are we doing May?
Wait, Bruce Almighty was in May too. I just noticed. What's going on?
What are you doing?
Oh, wait. I did do May, didn't I?
Grabbing random movies.
Oh.
There's a bunch of these from May. What are you? He was testing us, and we caught him.
Madness.
I was.
Hey,
All right,
guys,
movie this was only
It's
Wild
definitely-
Things.
It's definitely not that I just put this together right before the show. And, just got the M's the M months confused.
Oh my god!
So Evan Almighty will be in May.
Oh my god! So it turns out
any
it's
one
just
of you
Wild
can take
Things,
over
then.
doing this at any time.
No.
No,
way.
we're gonna miss
I
that
missed
moment
this?
then. Yeah, that was perfect. Oh, I approve wholeheartedly.
Okay. Well, this was fun. I'm glad I'm awake.
Quick parting shot here. I just watched Spawn, in its entirety for the first time.
Oh, with John Leguizamo
And-
playing the clown.
Is that John Leguizamo?
That's John Leguizamo.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, it is.
It is so bad.
It
That
is
movie
horrible.
so bad.
It is
The
so-
90s, like, vomited and drank the vomit and threw it back up again. It's
Oh god!
it's like that movie.
I mean, it's not Last Jedi bad, but it was pretty bad.
No, it's way worse than Last Jedi.
No,
I mean-
no.
Yeah, it is.
No. I'd
Even
give that
just,
movie
like-
an Oscar.
Like every like scene transition is like a wipe effect with hell flames going across the screen. It's so bad.
Wow.
Anyways, yep.
All right. So let's wrap this up then. It was a
Alright,
good
hold on.
show.
I'll start
a
up the
good show.
Teflon bot. I got it back from Bard. Hold on.
Oh, he got it back from Bard.
Wind
Everybody.
up the crank.
Do you start it like a Model T?
Oh, I got a movie
Sometimes.
anniversary.
Okay.
Go ahead while I start up this robot.
All right. The Hills Have Eyes. Do you guys remember that good movie?
Oh wow.
That movie
remember
came out
not
17
watching
years
it.
ago. Ooh, V for Vendetta, March 17th, 17 years ago. So I'm going to go random anniversaries. So
All right.
17
It sounds like
years.
he's
That's
ready
good.
because I can hear the echo coming through in robot voice.
All right. Let's do it.
Oh my
Or not. Teflon.
He's
Tefbot,
working on it.
are you
Tefbot.
there? I
Tefbot's
swear I heard
rebooting.
it.
I'm here. Hold on.
Oh my god, he turned it off.
If you like the show, please rate and review on your podcast player, which helps people find the show. Join us on Discord at discord.io/loosescrews and check out the merch store at loosescrewsed.com for mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/loosescrewsed. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry, Chig. I can't do that. Murder, death, kill. Murder, death.
All right. That's enough of that.
All right, that's good enough. All right.
Yeah, put him back in a box.
Fantastic. That's it. It's a wrap. Chig, Dubs,
what
me,
kind of wrap?
Data, Nurgle, Teflon, and also special guest Ty Worsham. And the Tefbot. All right.
Tefbot.
He doesn't get a mention. He's fine.
He's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Well, see you later, everybody.
See you.
Bye-bye.